Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. For those who have been asking the definition of mass action, then what happened today in town is a true signal of what can happen in the next 8 days. And at this moment, I am convinced to say that we can go the Sri Lanka way if the leadership do not act swiftly. I was in town very early in the morning because I had gotten that notification. Of course, they spread the information, they shared the information out, some few organizers about that. And they had written a letter previously of a demo that they're supposed to launch today. And what started as a dummy demo exploded. And I think even where the Kenya Kwanza team was seated, they were equally shocked. Look at the social media. No one is talking. Especially the ones that normally defend and we normally talk about events of the day are quiet. Instead, in fact, kila mtu alirudi back to the office. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look further and look at Mutahi Ngunyi's interpretations of this and what exactly played out in town. Tell you why William Ruto should be very worried. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our video. Thank you very much for those who are supporting us and from every part of the globe. Asanteni sana. We do this each and every day because of your support. These are desperate times. And some people say that desperate times call for desperate measures. Someone should tell the political leadership that the country is in a wait and see mode. If you look at this video here, this is a video of the protesters and the people you are seeing people you're seeing in these photos are people that turned out in their numbers to register their dissatisfaction and their frustrations about what is happening. And I want to tell you, I was in town. So when whoever you could meet amongst this, ulize nini inaendelea, just pretend as if now you're a visitor there, you don't know what's happening. Then ulize nini inaendelea. Yes, someone will start telling you about the Chinese issue, that we are all there. In fact, let me tell you, those who are complaining about the Chinese are actually importers. Let me tell you, it's not the traders. It's importers. Wale watu wanyamakimu hata wanaweza enda wanunue kwa huyo na kuja wauze. So that protest, it was supposed to be the voice of importers. And now look at it. Okay, fine. Make it look like all the traders in Nyamakinya. Do you want to tell me all those people are traders? You want to tell me all those people there while when you are made pale are traders? So this is what happened. Wakati there were less than 100 because I was around Luthuli. So while when you repeated Luthuli wakianza were less than 100. And in fact, they were just chanting and just walking. Hata kuna fracas walileta, hata watu walikuwa wanaendelea na biashara zao. Then walipoingia Moi Avenue, wakiteremka sasa kwenda connect na Rambe Avenue. You know, it is at that moment that now everyone joined kutoka the other side of Kenyatta Avenue, na huku, na Ronald Gala, and the whole Nyamakima team, and everyone closed businesses and went. So this is the point, that all those people that are there were not traders. That's what William Ruto should see. And what happened here is, there were also idle Kenyans who were just there. And they saw an opportunity. They went. They came out in their numbers. That event was mobilized. But it was not to be mobilized in that tune. I can tell you. So, this is something I can tell President Ruto. They're coming for you. The people are coming. And you cannot suppress all of them. Remember, that was just, it was the messaging around that was on the Chinese issue, which did not have a universal, it did not have the emotional touch of all. It had the emotional touch of some selected few people in that industry, rather in the trade. But not all those who went to revenue are traders. So that's the reality of the ground. That's why I'm saying that what happened today is a big signal of what if Azimio La Umoja calls it. And I'm wondering how you're now going to talk about ule mtu andamano, while those are, I don't like profiling people, because when things are not working, they don't work for all of us. But the truth here is, majority of those who are there were actually Kikuyus. These are people that William Ruto believed voted for him overwhelmingly and were behind him. An image of the representation of that group turning against, or rather venting their frustrations on government, on the Kenya Kwanza, it's one that is worrying. Look at what Mutahi is saying. He's actually saying something I want us to look at. Dear Kikuyus, you were protected by 3 presidents since independence. You do not own Kenya. Let other people, including the Somalis and China people, enjoy the fruit of our independence. Nyamekima protection is over. What Mtahi is saying here is this. He's telling them that not William Ruto is going to protect you. You left someone who was, and in fact he's saying that the 3 presidents, or rather the 2 presidents, Mwai Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta, had their interest at heart. But in taking Uhuru Kenyatta direction, they were still going to enjoy that. There is no denial, and I can tell you that this protection thing, over the years it has been contextualized as a Mount Kenya thing. We are protecting Mount Kenya. But on this one, you could see that PS, the other side, there is the other side of leaders that are supporting William Ruto that do not buy the script of it, protection being done in the context of Mount Kenya. And I can tell you, no one, Kikuyus, no one is going to help you in this problem. The traders, your problem has already been manufactured for political mileage. It's processing. I am afraid that the masses are being used as a bargaining tool with the Chinese investor. Because that meeting was organized. What am I talking about? In one of the speeches, Rigathi Gachagua was supposed to meet them. He sent his PA and met them. Alafu yule mwenye alikuwa anaongea akasema kwamba hawatakutana kwa boardroom, that Rigathi Gachagua was supposed to meet them, but Rigathi will not meet them in the boardroom. They will actually go and visit them where they work. What are they saying? They're going to talk to the masses. What do you expect when the leaders go to where those Nyamakima places? Maybe wanaenda kufanya huko wakitembea tembea. That is something that is being created to make sure that Rigathi wants to go to the masses. And the tragedy here is that what the tragedy that might befall these traders is that at the end of the day, their quest might not like the solution they want. They might not get the solution they like because the interests will converge at the top. Listen to what this gentleman said.
Tupatie serikali nafasi. Sisi tulisema hatutaki mambo ya boardroom. Yes. Na mwakilishi wa deputy president mwenye yako hapa ni PA wa Rigathi Gachagua. Yes. Na amesema mkubwa wake amemwambia achukue hii document yetu yenye tumetengeneza, ndio hiyo. Atupeana mashida zetu. Ndio hiyo. Yes. Ndio akikaa chini ataita wanabiashara wote, sio kwa boardroom, lakini atakuja kutuona mahali tunafanyia kazi. Kama tukulie. Haya, tusikize. Hakuna maneno ya boardroom. Ni sisi akuje vile aliomba kura zetu. akuje tujadiliane, tujue vile tutamaliza hili jaga. Tumesema Mchina hawezi kuwa producer, akuwe wholesaler na distributor pamoja, akuwe retailer na akuwe hawker. Wakenya wote wenye wako hapo katikati wataenda wapi? Sisi mpaka importers tuko hapa. Sisi tumesema tutakuwa tumefunga kazi zetu leo, si kupenda kwetu. Lakini kama hatujafunga leo, tujafunga milele juu ya Wachina. Na Mchina anakuja polepole, ataingia polepole kama ngamia, kidogo kidogo aigize miguu, kidogo kidogo aigize mwili, kidogo kidogo atakuwa ndani. Sasa sisi tunasema.
So what do you expect? What do you expect, guys? What do you expect? Meacho kwa mataa. Hii ni kitu watu wamebebwa waende kwa street so that they just provide a bargaining. You know, the moment that Chinese guy spoke about he's making 10 million, I knew that hapa huyu atapigwa kiremba. Huyu hachwa. The interests are converging, and to say the truth, their question is very legitimate. There is no way the Chinese can be producers, importers, they can be producers, they can be manufacturers, distributors, wholesalers, and retailers. There is something happening. There is a way they are jumping the supply chain, and so that's why they're not getting their way into it. You know, and it seems to be deeper, and what's going on. So, one thing that you need to ask yourself in this: why do you think Rigathi doesn't want to solve this thing in the boardroom? Is that the way, the mantra, the way everything is going to be handled? Because we even have coffee and reforms going on. Why is it not going to the boardroom? Does it mean, because at the end of the day, the solution is not there. The solution is an apparent foreign policy. We'll have to bring CS Mutua, we have to bring Moses Kuria, and all the heads together so that, and because also borders, this can also bring a diplomacy issue between us and China. And remember, China is a strategic trade partner. Is a strategic partner as far as this investment is concerned. So we cannot, and I said in Twitter that we cannot wish away. There is no way we can detach from China as far as our trade is concerned, because 70% of secondary products that we buy, apart from the basic needs, we import from China. I can tell you that mtu asikudanganya kwamba hii kitu ni kitu utakaa, and you know, people wanasema ito tutaka car gari, and no, it's not going to be solved that way. And to Raila Odinga, I want to make a very wild card here. Two things I'm also seeing. Number one, that the state could already, because they're preempting what is going to Raila Odinga's mass action, so they're already creating this to create a niche, prepare and give, or rather give the Kikuyus a priority. That yenyu ni biashara zenyu, hizi biashara zenyu. So it's already a priority that is being created so that they can be carved out of the big question. But I can tell you, I was in town. Ukiongea na mtu, watu, it's the big people that are speaking about the Chinese and the business of it. But hata ukiongea na watu nyuma wanasema, si wanatupatia job. Yes. Chinese wanatupatia job. Uko. We are getting something. So, at the end of the day, the question here is it going to solve our problem? Not. Let me tell you something. There are these four things I want you to listen, and listen carefully. Our intelligence, and indeed because it was next to Vigilance House, so I want to understand they were also there, they must rush to President Ruto, to State House, and convene a meeting, a crisis meeting with the president, and tell the president what some of us have been saying. Your work is cut out. The work is cut out for him because the masses are demanding answers. What happened? The masses are demanding answers. You know, today it's Chinese issue. Tomorrow it's unga and electricity and petrol and this and that. I saw Rigathi saying, I'm going to talk to them. Why then? Are you going to, even if you start convening meetings that unataka kutana hii department, hawa, are you going to convene the meetings? Are you going to complete? Hawezi. The work is cut out, and that's why I said the population, the masses are coming. Instead of this chest thumping and all this English and the big statements we are making in this event, let's sit down and find a solution. At least it is fine that we have a long-term goal to fix the economy. But you cannot fix the economy in the next 5 years and all of us are dead, hungry. Tuna tumesota. Who gonna celebrate? So the work is cut out, and it shows you the masses are impatient. I think that's one thing, that's the linking. That's what everyone else is not saying. The masses are impatient. They are impatient. There's one thing here. The Nyamakima protection being vouched here, being hawked in this thing, is looking selfish. Because if you want to make it universal, then just make it that wale investors wote wanakuja huku wakuje kama retailers ama wakuje kama manufacturers at the upper cadre of that supply chain, wasikuje kama traders. At the end of the day, someone would ask, kama nimeenda China Square na buy kitu bei ya juu na buy kitu bei ya chini, alafu mimi niende Nyamakima nipata bei ya juu, si nitachukua gari niende China Square? Because everyone wants to save. At the end of the day, the population are looking the product. They don't want to know how the supply chain is behaving. Because Kenya is a capitalist, every man for himself. If anyway, the leaders have been doing it. So, mtu hataki kujua kunaenda aje, yeye anataka afanye. Let's stop all these affordable housing things and hizi vitu zingine tungangana nazo, the hard stuff we're doing. Let's just fix the price of food. Just that. Because the masses are hungry. The maandamano attacks on Raila have been suppressed. So never again should someone say ile mtu andamano, ile mtu wa hii, ile mtu wa hii. Sababu sasa si kila mtu ishajulikana that the only language that the state will understand is maandamano. And it's not just Raila. Actually, it's showing it that the only language that can be understood is maandamano. So none should attack the other person because the other person is doing it. Now, this is why I am telling you that Ruto should be very worried. The foreign powers and even foreign investors are seeing what is happening. And we are already creating a hostile environment for investment. We seem, and I think as a nation, we're looking at it through China. And that we are attacking China this, China that. But do you think Chinese are the only ones that are investing here? Don't we have potential investors who are looking at the situation in the country? And we need to look at it very objectively. This Chinese investor invested some money. For him to make sales of 150 million, no, 10 million, he invested some money. Now government today raided that place in the morning and seized goods worth 50 million. And then another narrative has come up that some of those goods were counterfeit. I'm like, this story of counterfeits, we need to outgrow it. I think it's a bit stale. It's a wrong strategy. It's a stale strategy to suppress other people's businesses. Uhuru really suffered when we said that the Nyamakima guys were selling counterfeits. Now we've gone to the Chinese guy and we're saying he's selling counterfeit. Now, you can't just wake up. The machinery, government machinery cannot just wake up one day and demonize an investor. We are chasing investors. Kuna wenye wanaona wanasema Kenya huwezi weka pesa yako. So who gonna lose? Us, because we are the ones who need those jobs. And why are we not also listening to the healthy competition issue? Why are we seeing that it is the Chinese guys that are wrong? How about ourselves as a government? We could be chasing them because we know that there is a problem. And so, wanna feel they're not. What is exactly happening? Are we protecting exorbitant traders? What exactly is a problem? Why are we saying that the Chinese is the problem? Why is it that even us, could we also be having a problem? It is something we need to look at. But the Nairobi protests was a waking call that people are coming. That was supposed to be a protest that was supposed to be attended with some 200 people, but watu walitoka wakaenda, and because they just walked along the streets. So if 50 people are to go to CBD, is it going to be governable? And I've always said sometimes we despise Raila with many things, but when it comes to the touch with the people, you cannot deny him that.